Oh shit. Wait.
It's not.
What? Just turn it on. It's fine. Just put them on. It's fine. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy, and we're streaming the Duke chess game today. Duke CCL Team A. We got Barney, Ben, Luke, and Gordon. First round I had to skip, but we're into the games now. Gordon is playing PK Scorpion, who just lost to Barney last round. There's a French defense on the field. I don't know why Black has decided to do that. Sort of shitty opening, but that's okay. Gordon last round hung his queen in a completely winning position, so we don't like to see that. But looking pretty equal in the opening. Not too much going on. Black can take the bishop pair if he wants, but I guess we'll see. Looking at some other games. Pin variation, Luke here versus Tree Monkey. Very odd profile picture. Probably represents how well he will play in this tournament. London opening from White. Another odd opening choice. I guess this team just wants to be boring, but that's okay. Luke playing a very standard opening. Actually, Luke has taught me a lot about the game of chess, and I've sort of just copied him in all his openings. All right, let's not watch the London game. Okay. Barnabas on White team here, looking to play against Bismarck. Looks like this was a King's Indian defense, but the A and B files are both open. We'll see if Black can take advantage of this. Seems pretty equal from my judgment. Bishop getting off the long diagonal. Not too sure how to evaluate this. Yeah, Black will probably try and do something along these two files here. But I guess we're just going to see. And Ben, the last game, I don't think has started yet. Don't see him here. So let me try and find his game. I don't see it. So he's probably just not playing, or he might have fell asleep. Okay, let's see which game do I want to look at. Let's look at Gordon's game. There's some imbalances here. Gordon has an open G file, but a damaged pawn structure, opposite colored bishops. Gordon's king is at the moment stuck in the center, but don't know exactly how this will pan out. If I were anyone, though, I'd like to be Gordon. I mean, I like this attacking potential. Black's rook is not developed, but I guess White's king is a lot less safe. So this should be an interesting dynamic game out of the French opening, which again is very unexpected. Let's see. Surely the knight has to return, or g6, but this just creates so many dark square weaknesses. There goes the rook, and it allows White to castle queenside, get his king into safety, and now, though it's not opposite color bishops, Gordon is just simply have an exchange, and White's king is potentially under threat with the open G file. Now, obviously, Black is trying to push on the queen side, but, we'll see who's faster. My bet's going to be on White here. Obviously, I'm not biased, even though this shirt doesn't represent anything here. But yeah, I mean, Black's king is so many dark square weaknesses, and I just have to think, like, look at the time advantage, too. Gordon's up 4 minutes to 2 minutes. He has double the time as the opponent. And yeah, I mean, it's just looking pretty good here. He's going for a queen trade, which I'm not exactly sure if I would do. I guess he gets to solidify the knight, and I guess he is up material. But I mean, his king is so weak. I feel like I just want to attack. And black declines. I mean, knight to c5 just seems so natural here. Just bringing the knight in. The queen can't even ask anymore. But he doesn't even go for it. He realizes that the king is under threat. The H file is, this is just nasty. This is just killing. Truly annihilation here. Let's look at another game. I don't have any problems with this. Benjamin Yan started playing. And this looks to be a Caro exchange. I didn't know that Benjamin was a Caro player. That's odd. I might have inspired him on this point. This guy going for the typical setup with bishop d3, bishop f4. Benjamin playing his knight into the center. Yeah, seems pretty equal. I don't know. I personally don't like this fianchetto setup with the bishop on f5. I feel like it's a bit unstable if g4 ever needs to come. And I guess Ben is probably just going to trade off these light squared bishops, get rid of his bishop here. And yeah, probably just go for a minority attack. A very standard Caro idea. Yeah. Trading off the bishops, going for a 6b5. I am literally a GM, or at least an NM, since I'm predicting an NM's moves. Yeah, this is looking pretty equal. I think Ben can handle this. He is higher rated on chess.com, but we'll see what comes out of this. Let's switch back to Luke's game. Luke going with, in this London position, there seems to be this f4 advance trying to get control of e5. g6 looks pretty weak, but there's no way for white to really capitalize on that. Black going for a standard advance on the queen side. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the position in terms of light square, light bishops, right? White's bishop is blocked completely by the pawns, and Luke has a dark squared bishop that, though is currently staring at rocks, can sort of get activated if this b5, b4 thing happens. Though he might have to be careful about some sort of kingside attack. But that's all pretty standard. Honestly, queen c6 looking to prevent e4, probably a very good prophylaxis move. I wonder if white's going to go knight f2. To try and get into e4. There it is. I'm literally a genius. Yeah, and if white gets e4 in, maybe this bishop on h2 can actually activate. And if e4 and sort of this e file opens, maybe Luke should try and get a pawn or a rook on the e file right now. We'll see what he does. I mean, yeah, I was just considering knight g3, but realizing that's protected. So, yeah, b5. Standard plan, not really caring about e4 at the moment. Probably makes sense. There's no way to really prevent that. But yeah, I wonder if white's going to go for that or is first going to take on b5. Technically, the a4 pawn is hanging, so he probably wants to deal with that first. But time advantage is on Luke's side here, and yeah, we're looking good here. Okay. Oh, Gordon has taken out PK Scorpion. Let's see how this happened here. Oh, he got in with the dark squares. The dark square weaknesses are critical here. Yeah, and after the dark squares just piling up, bringing the knight in, then the queen comes in, there goes the rook. Yeah, this is just completely doomed. Gordon not hanging his queen in this game and actually taking down one of the other guys. I don't even know who we're playing. I don't even care. It doesn't matter. Gordon with a win for Duke. Okay. And wow, we have another victory. Barnabas here winning by resignation. Looks like there's a mate in 9. Again, the dark square weaknesses. This other team here, they just don't know how to deal with the dark square weaknesses. Like on both of these games. Alex Tong in the chat. Yeah, we love to see the Duke support. Today, obviously, we're playing Notre Dame and also playing whatever team we're playing. I don't even know what playing. Alex, could you tell me what game we're playing in the chat? Yeah, Barnabas here is just completely dominating the dark squares again. With the King's Indian Bishop gone, it's just impossible for White to even handle all the pressure. And yeah, that's just completely winning. So we have 2 games left. We have the pin variation versus Tree Monkey, which is Luke's game with the London game. It looks like e4 did get in. The knight dropped back to e7, and then after a trade, the bishop comes back to c7, probably looking to activate more on the queen side. The king side looks a little bit weak for Luke with some light square weaknesses, but again, black doesn't have the ability to take advantage of them. So it just is sort of irrelevant here. And whoa, it looks on my screen you ran out of time. Am I just like trolling, or maybe I have to refresh the page? Yeah, I don't know why it flipped around here, the board. Yeah, it looks like it was just my browser completely lagging. That's happened to me many times now. I don't know how I feel with this Arc browser, but someone recommended it to me. Knight e5, I wonder if he's going to go for the exchange sack. I doubt it. In fact, he's definitely not. But I don't know. I love talking about exchange sacks. So, okay, the A pawns are being exchanged. Maybe the B pawn will also fall. And then Luke is going to be able to sort of get in here. I don't know. This rook on the A6 thing coming to E6, yeah, that is probably what I would have played as well, preventing this A pawn from falling. And now the B2 pawn falls. Patience is key here for Luke. And that's something I've known very well playing against him. He just doesn't, he's very precise, something that I am not. But that's all right. I mean, honestly, I want to sack. I want to, like, I feel like there's some sacks incoming with here, but I don't know. Just getting the connected pass pawns, but probably not. It's too crazy. It's not Bughouse, I guess. I mean, immediately I saw knight g3, but I guess Luke thinks that taking is better, sort of vying on the good bishop, bad bishop type deal, and Luke is going to put 2 pigs on the second, which is probably going to render too much for him. He's going to run out of time, and he just flags. I mean, it's just over. That was a masterful performance. Just infiltrating on the queen side, a very typical game plan against the London, executed very well. Okay, the last game here, I should probably update the Excel calendar. We might get a clean sweep here. Barnabas with 2, Luke with 1. Let's see, we only need 8 points to win the match, and looking at this game against Ben, oh, it does not look too good on first glance. This knight is kind of weird. I don't know where it's going. It's sort of trapped on Ben's board. This RRNM is just doing so bad today. Like, what the hell? Maybe he is too sleepy. Queen coming in, trying to get the knight out of here through the B3 square. Oh, we're playing University of Florida. Yeah, we should have no problem here. Thank you, Alex, for commenting that. Yeah, I mean, this position, I mean, we just have to see if White is able to capitalize on this trapped knight. I mean, rook e2 here looks sort of dead. I'm an idiot. Not rook e2. Yeah, I mean, maybe something like, I guess it's not immediately pinned. Maybe something like queen e2. Pinning the knight to the queen. Yeah, knight c6 makes sense, threatening rook e2. This is no longer fit, and also threatening knight takes e7. Wow, the knight is still trapped despite being able to go to b3. Yeah, and if knight here, just rook a3, that's nasty. This is brilliancy by Ayush here. He has to go back to e2 and now just rook e2. And what's going on here? Am I like confused or something? Like what? Oh, is there? I mean, there might be some queen b8 check, but then just rook e1, and then like what are you doing? Like you got to defend the knight. I don't really know. Ben also completely low on time. Decides I don't even want to take the knight. I'm gonna go straight for here and sacrificing a rook to save the knight. I guess attacking the queen, but there's potentially some dark square weaknesses. I mean, everyone who plays g6 today just can't protect all these dark squares. The queen's coming in, saves the rook, but I mean, look at this is like. I mean, there surely is some. I mean, the knight coming to f5 and then to h6, and I mean the dark squares. This is just a common theme here. Queen here takes, and the rook is swinging, and that's just me. I mean, that's just an embarrassment here by Benjamin Yan. Not sure what's going on with him. So we don't get a clean sweep just because of Benjamin Yan. That's okay. We're still up 5-3. If I'm not mistaken, which means we only need 3.5 more points to clinch the match. I think our team has got it. I mean, Barnabas is playing like a grandmaster, and Gordon is playing very well as well. Cool. This is very interesting. I mean, this A team for Duke seems to be very underrated officially, but yeah. Oh, do we have a post-game interview? We have a post-game interview. Benjamin, yeah, Alex is watching here.
Dude,
What do you have to say to the team captain?
Dude,
the camera is here.
I didn't mean to play knight d2.
Knight d2? You
I was
didn't
like-
mean to. Okay.
I was like eyeing over it and arrowing it, and then I accidentally played it. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean that knight on d2 is just simply trapped. So I don't know what you were doing there. You gotta pull ahead. You're rated. You're a national master, but you're losing to these silly 2200s. Come on, dude.
We're still up though.
We're still up. You only need 3.5 more points, but I mean, you losing a game, it just takes your record. But that's all right. That's all right. We get better. This is only the second match
We're
of the year.
4-0ing next round.
You heard it here
Yeah,
first,
me?
the 4-0ing.
Let me
But
see.
we really gotta. You really gotta pull it together.
I was really like squeezing him, right? I think.
I mean, I wasn't paying attention. There are far more
Wait,
interesting
what?
games than yours.
I think I'm like better.
I mean, the knight on e4 looks crazy. I mean, what are your thoughts here?
No, so what I thought, I was calculating this, right? And then I was like, okay, this has to be good for black.
Uh-huh.
But then I realized after 92, like at this point, I realized after 92, he doesn't have to take a pawn, he just play here. And I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But I was eyeing over 92, and then I like arrowed it, and then I accidentally clicked it.
Oh.
But I think it messed up. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, just completely getting destroyed on the dark squares. Just like I was mentioning these other two games over here. Gordon just completely destroying on the dark squares. I mentioned it at like move 20. Here, I mean, there's like no defense on this dark squares, and you know the open G file is nasty here. And then
exchange.
he is up in exchange primarily because of this dark square weakness. And then afterwards, he just could not handle the dark squares. I mean, the knight comes in, the queen comes in here, and it's just completely doomed.
Wait.
And the same thing with Barnabas. The dark squares are just completely. I don't know what's happening with the dark square. I think the moral today is just not to play G6 openings. Like, come on.
Oh, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna play G6.
Yeah, we just can't play G6 openings.
Alright, I'm gonna play my next round.
All right. They're going back into the den. We're going back into streaming. No matches have started yet. They're probably just taking a bathroom break, or maybe they're doing post games interviews too. I guess we'll never know. Yeah. How many people are watching the stream? Maybe it's just Alex Tong, the team captain of the Duke A team. He's not playing because we got these very strong players here playing. I wonder if I'm actually glitched and those games are actually happening. I'm going to sort of check. Maybe I'm confused. I need to do the /follow thing again. yeah, I had to stop that. Yeah, but let's look at the pin variation. Oh, we have a King's Indian. This guy not learning from the past games with the dark square weaknesses. This time seeming to be better, not moving that dark squared bishop. Going for a standard King's Indian. This is exactly what I played. Not going for the e5 trap, losing the exchange. Instead, playing more sensibly. And yeah, this seems to be a pretty normal game. Obviously, the King's Indian is a dubious opening for Black if you're playing against someone like Luke. Luke is very experienced in dealing with this sort of position, very good at ensuring that the position doesn't get out of hand. Now that trade was a little bit suspicious, allowing Black to get f5 in and sort of this dagger on e4. I don't know why Luke allowed this. I guess he does get a connected pass pawn on the d file, but you know, maybe everything I said was just jinxing him, and this is just a problem. Let me look at the other games. When I refreshed the browser, I actually got rid of my follows. But yeah, let's see here. Let's move on to Barnabas. Luke hopefully will be able to sort of circumvent this problem with f5 expansion. Hopefully maybe try and take advantage of the weakened king, but I don't know what's going on now. Just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. Bishop drops back to b1. We never like to see a move like that. Black is gonna get extensive space on the king side, which is exactly what he wants in this King's Indian opening. Let's go to Barnabas, deciding to go for another London for Trimachi, going for the Agenmator. London counter, knight a3, hoping for the trap. Barney does not take the bait. Very smart move. d5 is coming in, and a relatively weird London game, not a super typical with this knight on a6. This bishop on c7 sort of cutting into the black position does not look too pleasant for Barnabas. I don't know why he allowed this, but if I were playing, I probably would have allowed it as well. Let's look at Benjamin Yan's game. He's won one, lost one. Let's see how he's doing. Here, username too good for you. Clearly not too good for Ayush after that beatdown last game. He's again low on time. I mean, maybe he's just doing I don't know what he's doing. Probably tired. I think he just didn't get enough sleep. But I mean, this PK Scorpion guy playing the French. I don't know why he's playing the French, because I mean, I'm sure University of Florida they want to win. But I mean, if this guy's playing the French, I mean, come on. We do have opposite sides castling, which is probably pretty normal in the French, going for kingside expansion, and sort of having a race to see who can win faster. Yeah, I'm not sure. This knight to b1 is a sad move, but potentially necessary to cover some key squares. This isn't Bughouse, so they can't just place a pawn on a3 to sort of bust up the white position, but still, you know, black is getting the tempo moves. I mean, every single time black makes a threat, white has to respond, and that's another move that Benjamin Yan needs to sort of attack their king. But I guess we'll see how this goes. Let's check in on Gordon, the legend who is rated super highly and has done super well, except hang his queen. Playing against Ayush, defeated Ben, but just lost by resignation. As soon as I didn't even get to see the entire game, he won so fast. I mean, Gordon is just carrying this team right now. Gordon playing the French. Maybe I was wrong about this French shenanigans. Going in for the knight to e4, and then after trading off the dark squared bishops, being able to do sort of a queenside expansion. How is he dealing with this horrible light squared bishop? Sort of activates it, makes it have a use defending the f5 square, hoping that white trades off the knight, getting an extra pawn. Does so. The rook comes into e6. Looks like black is sort of under some pressure with this weakened king, but there's just this pawn on b2. What is happening here? Promotes with a queen, second queen comes in, and it just seems like despite having sort of an attack on the king side, the two queens on the queen side can sort of swoop in fast. They're not kings, they can actually move quickly, and they can actually swoop in and save the day, covering the diagonals. And Gordon just takes out the guy who took out Benjamin Yan last time. So that's a huge win for Duke, looking at 6 points now. Only 2.5 more points to clinch the match. Oh, not that's wrong. 6 points now. And yeah, let's go back to pin variation. It looks like Duke has some problems with time management pin variation, only on 20 seconds, despite having sort of a weakened black king. His knight on f1 is not doing much, sort of restricted, but maybe he can reroute it somewhere into the game. But yeah, the time advantage is critical in these sorts of things. Even though it's 2-second increment, it's only 2 seconds. And when it comes time to it, black is expanding on the queen side and the king side. Luke is hoping to say, oh, you've overextended your pieces. That way you can sort of take advantage of these weakened pawns. With this King's Indian, there's now weakened light squares. Maybe last time he thought his dark squares were too weak. Oh, he had something here. This move before, it was -8. I didn't see what it was. I'm not that good. I don't have chess.com premium, so I can't see what move Stockfish wants. Benjamin Yan here. Another race, but it looks like black is hitting first. This is, black is knocking on the door, asking white the questions, and black hasn't even touched anything on the king side. Even if Benjamin gets something like g6 in, what his pieces aren't even active. His knight is stuck over here on a3, which, albeit, is a pretty safe square. The knight can't really attack it. But I'm not really sure if, the time advantage too. Black just seems to have a significant advantage. In this game, Benjamin surely probably tired. I don't know what's going on here. Today was college game day for Duke. Obviously, we're playing Notre Dame. But, yeah. B2. Alex said he had e4. I haven't been looking. I'm not a seasoned streamer, so I keep forgetting to look at the chat. Maybe I should get some guest streamers here who has slightly higher elo. Oh, bishop e2 looks like black's now completely losing. Oh, he just hung mate in 1. I wasn't even paying attention, but it's just over. Dang, he's losing. His rating has dropped how many points today? Just playing these games. Maybe he's distracted. Okay, let's go back to Barnabas's game. Barnabas is up. Opponent only has 7 seconds. Stockfish says that white was better, but now is no longer better. The time pressure is just probably getting to him. Queen a8. Material-wise, Gordon is up in exchange. Position's very chaotic, but it just looks like white is getting mated. These two pieces on the back rank. It's just nasty. Yeah, there we go. Barnabas taking it home. We have 7 points. Only 1 more needed to tie it. Let's see if Luke... Oh, the other game finished. Luke was unable to win, mainly on time. Again, the time advantage is seriously hurting Duke right now. But at the end of the day, we have 7 points, and they only have 5 points. So we just need 1.5 points to win the game. Yeah, opposite colored bishops, but obviously Luke dropped his rook, and that's just not happening. Looks like we have another post-game interview.
Oh my god.
Benjamin Yan is back to comment on his loss. I don't know what he has to say. Too good for you is sort of like...
Too bad for you.
Yeah, too bad. It's just come on, dude. It was a French. How do you lose against a French? What is going on here? What do you have to say for your horrible play?
I just have to say, I'm very rusty. That's it. Is Alex telling?
Oh,
wait.
Position has started. You need to get out of here.
Okay.
We don't want to get flagged for cheating here. Pin variation going for a Caro, very standard. Panov attack. Will he play the Bishop e6 variation? The one he taught me. No, not immediately, but still in play. Bishop e6. There it is. The Bishop e6 Panov. Something he taught me allowed me to win at least one tournament game. It's nasty. If you don't know the theory, it's very likely to have c5 come in. And, oh wow, taking the pawn. That's relatively rare. And black now sort of is able to work with this isolated d pawn here. Probably looking pretty good out of the opening for black here. Benjamin Yan also starting his game, playing against Areti opening with the bishop g2. Let's see if he can sort of take advantage of Bismarck's light squared weaknesses, which seems to be a theme. Away from the center, opening the queens. Will Benjamin go into... It is completely symmetrical right now. Will he go into a queenless middle game? But he does have the extra move here. It does just seem like he's white. I don't know how White lost a tempo. Probably playing d3 instead of d4. Bishop e6 again in this game as well. I mean, this is just weird. Duke just likes to block the e pawn, I guess. I mean, it's all right attacking this pawn. I'm not even quite sure how to defend it. Maybe he has to go like knight d2 or knight a3, because if you go to b3, then this knight moves with the discovered attack on the rook. And wow, bringing the other knight black, preventing the bishop from developing. Now black has a significant lead in development. Probably just develop the queen and the rooks, and I mean, he's just enjoying a nice middle game here. Let's go to Gordon. Gordon's been playing very well today. Another French defense. Hopefully White can take advantage. Black seems to have the very typical c5 push. White going for an also very thematic f5 push. Sort of worried about this d4 square. There's a lot of pressure here, but still well defended for now. Let's see if Gordon can sort of question the mobility of the black king here. I mean, bishop b4 looks pretty normal. But yeah, another French. Lots of Frenches. I'm very surprised to see. Maybe at my level, people don't play Frenches. But, yeah. Bishop b4. That's exactly what I said. And now the knight comes out, and I mean, White seems to not have too many problems. Black is the one who's being asked questions. This knight on d7 has nowhere to go. This e6 pawn is weak, and if the f-file opens before Black gets castled, I mean, I don't know. White doesn't even have to castle. He can just go rook e1 or rook f1, which might be bad, but demonstrates the point. Let's look at Barnabas's game. He seems to not be playing immediately. Maybe he's decided that he's had enough and that we don't need to play anymore. But more likely, his opponent is just taking a piss or something. Let's go back to the pin variation in his bishop e6 Panov attack. Working with the isolated pawn here, now no longer isolated, we have the hanging pawn structure. Looking at this square on c4 looks really good for this knight. Maybe something like knight a5, knight c4 is something that I would consider. d4 seems weak if this c pawn ever moves, similar to some sort of Grunfeld. But I don't know, there's also bishop here, just sort of attacking the rook, but I guess it just helps it develop, so there's no point in doing that right now. Bishop f4, very standard. I mean, there's no point staying on this diagonal. But the pressure on e7 is released. Maybe the queen can venture out. I don't know if a5 is the right square, but that move, I don't know if I mean, just asking for c4, then you have to trade the bishops. You lose the bishop pair here. But I guess if you do that, then the d4 pawn is gone. So I guess you can't really play c4, but it's sort of, you know, allowing White to have this constant threat after rook here. Of course, just activating the rook. White probably saw that c4 is not possible. But yeah, we're going to see what happens. This pawn on a2 is hanging, but I mean, obviously Luke's not taking that for some reason that I am unsure of. Okay, looks like Barnabas has started his game against Ayush. Ayush has been doing very well, beating Ben, but losing to Gordon pretty quickly. Barnabas going for the English opening. I've played Barnabas against the English opening. That is not something that you want to be on the back end of. Very standard. He's going for this triangle. Did not get the bishop out, so it feels like a Slav. I don't know why he didn't get the bishop out. I guess he played e6, hoping for a queen's gambit decline. Obviously, Barnabas is not idiot enough to do that. Going with this double fianchetto position, Barnabas clearly doesn't have problems with weak light or dark squares, so he's able to do this effectively. And yeah, just now expanding the center after putting his bishops on the long diagonals. One grandmaster famously said, long diagonals is where bishops want to be. And that's clear from Barnabas's play. Just some more moves. E1, they have the C4, D4, there's lots of pawn tension. Whenever I have pawn tension, I try and get rid of it because I can't calculate that much. And yeah, some trades are happening. Is he going to capture back with the bishop? If so, E4 might come. So maybe he has to play D5, and if he plays D5, then I don't know, this bishop on B7 is sort of blocked, and that's exactly what happens. Taking again, probably giving black either an isolated pawn if he takes with a minor piece, or hanging pawns, which Barnabas can probably take advantage of by putting his rooks on the C and D file. This could be pretty nasty for white. But yeah, I'm sure Barnabas is very comfortable in these types of positions. The knight could even come to E5 in some lines. But I mean, if I was him, I would just play something like rook C1, maybe prepare some E4, maybe reroute the knight, queen C2 also, getting the rooks the ability to be flexible, deploying the queen off. But I'm worried about if rook C8 is going to be sort of annoying, saying, hey, as soon as the C pawn is gone, you're going to be under threat. And that's exactly what happens here. So I don't know. Oh, okay. So we see his idea trying to bring the queen potentially to B1. But I don't know. This Ayush guy is just going to have to play against these hanging pawns and playing against this amazing player that we have here doing very well today. Let's go back to Gordon's game. See what's going on here. French defense. It looks like, as I predicted earlier, black is having a very difficult time getting the king to safety, having to play f6. Benjamin, what's his name? Some famous grandmaster said, never play f6. Benjamin, God, I don't know. Knight takes h7, saying, okay, the bishop here is defending. They had better. He had a significant advantage after f6, but couldn't find the move. Now after e takes, he says, I'm going back. And now black is winning, somehow. Not exactly sure. I mean, he is threatening mate, but I mean, something like knight f6 seems to prevent it pretty well. This knight is protecting the critical light square that the light square bishop can get into. So pretty expert defense. And rook f1, exactly, activating the rook. And now white has to have the question, where is your king going? And potentially there's some sort of queen to h5 ideas, but I bet black is just saying, after king d1, what are you doing? King d8, what are you doing? And he doesn't even go for it, probably because of externalities. Oh, I'm just an idiot. He can play g6. Yeah, there's two defenders. So yeah, now white has to ask the question, how am I getting to safety? And black has just created the connected passed pawn here, closing off the file, which is very smart. And maybe black, after playing some b7, bishop b7, can castle the king-queen side and say, okay, I'm safe. What are you doing? Gordon, not the most experienced attacker, seems, but that's all right. Position is still complicated, though being down nothing, potentially having some questions about king safety, though. Ooh, queen d3, queen h3, looking like a blunder. I mean, I don't see it immediately, but I don't see anything immediately. I mean, this pawn is hanging. I wonder if that's why the computer's angry. If that pawn falls, the bishop on c2 is questioned, and if the bishop is questioned, I mean, this e pawn is just now he has two connected pass pawns. Like, what is going on here? His attack is just completely fallen apart, and this knight also defends e6 square. So the knight can't come in, try and take on g7, so this is just looking like a nasty position. Maybe he's going to have to queenside castle here, right into the line of fire of the queen. And then if he does that, he's just going to take and play d4, and you're losing a knight, so he can't even do that. So I mean, what, king d1, moving this bishop? Like, this is just a really sad position for white here. Turning that around. Let's look at some other games. I mean, we got to win 1.5 games here, so maybe a draw. If someone could get a draw here, it would be very important. Bishop b3. Let's switch. I don't want to watch this anymore. Barnabas here, looking pretty solid. The hanging pawns were pushed one after the dark square bishops were traded off. Luckily, the weak light squares around the king are still protected by the light squared bishop, though there's some questions about, is the knight coming in here? Black seems to have the space advantage, but again, the pawns are just potentially weak here. And then after pushing d3 now, this pawn is looking very, very accessible to white and inaccessible to black to defend it. Queen c1, probably keeping an eye on here, and I don't know. We have to see if white is able to capitalize on this overextended pawn. Knight f3 looking like a blunder. Again, I don't see it immediately. Yeah, I have no idea why this is potentially there's some sacrifices. I want to see if Ayush can take down Barnabas here. Stockfish seems to think he can, but I'm confused. This is beyond my pay grade as a commentator. Any suggestions from the chat? I don't know if Alex here is still watching, but c4 coming in. Why can't he just take? I don't get it. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here. What happens if takes? I'm guessing. what the? Oh, going for there's this. That's the idea. Queen b6, and then looking at sort of knight f2 ideas, preventing this from taking it. Now c3. These connected passed pawns on the third rank, and the two rooks behind it. I mean, white is just completely. These hanging pawns are just killing. It looks like despite. Oh, what the hell? Gordon, coming from the dead, gets a smothered mate. What in the world? That is crazy. Stockfish evaluation after knight. I could have stayed a few more seconds, and it would have just been checkmate. That's nasty. And then Benjamin Yan also taking down Bismarck with a fork. Oh, that's nasty, though he was already up a knight. Potentially looking for a draw. We've won. We've won. We've won. We've won. We've won. We're going to have some post-games interviews here, so stay around. Barnabas here still looking pretty dangerous here with no time and space here. We got some co-commentators. We have some finished games. Gordon had a crazy position. Barney is completely losing.
Really?
Here.
Oh.
He look at this position here. He had the two passed pawns on the third rank after threatening
Oh god.
after threatening knight f2 here. He played c4. I got super confused. I didn't know why he couldn't just take, but it looks like he had queen b6 and then knight f2 if he didn't play rook f1 here.
Oh, wow.
So now after sacking the exchange, I mean this position is just completely losing.
Oh, this dude kind of owned us.
Yeah, Ayush destroyed you, I know. Did he beat you? I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
he beat me. I was totally winning, and then I dropped all my pawns.
Yeah, so Barney here not looking too strong.
Wait,
But
c1 queen.
it's just doomed. The knight is falling, and then the rook is falling, and everything. And we're looking at resignation here, but it doesn't matter because we got 9.5 points.
It's okay.
Luke taking
Ben win? Or not Ben.
Gordon won.
won.
Gordon was completely losing, but looks like we're gonna take it 9.5.
Oh my
Two.
god, bro.
That
Nice.
Gordon's
Why-
game.
Did you see my
Look at
game?
this checkmate. This is a smothered checkmate here.
Oh my god.
Gordon was completely losing 3 moves ago. This is where I left him. He was down -6 probably because of these passed pawns. And then he was just like, okay, I'm just gonna
Wow.
checkmate him. It's just completely losing in 1 move.
Ricky, it's wild.
Did you see my game?
I wasn't. I was not. I was watching the other game, Benjamin Yan's game here. I saw the ending. It
Is
looks.
Alex Tong still watching?
I have no idea.
That was completely.
Everyone say hi to some of the people on our Duke team. There's Luke in the gray and Ben in the blue.
You pointed the wrong way.
Okay, well, this is the camera here. Yeah, it's looking pretty nasty here. This position looks not good. I mean, he's down in exchange, but I mean, I guess he has the light square weaknesses, which is a huge theme. Was he able to take advantage of those? Yeah, the light squared weaknesses, they're killer.
Yeah, but this was really bad.
It's bad, but I mean, it's equal. Probably because the knight yeah, probably because of the force. Is he going for a draw there?
No, he was going to lose, bro. He's trying to lose.
But now he's just up a knight, and then he just drops the other rook, and that's the game. So looking at the score, it looks like Luke is the weak link, winning only 1.5 games.
Tough.
Ben is also, though he is the lowest rated, so it does make sense.
I'm definitely the weak week. I should have gone 1.
But you got 2. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but
And that wraps up
should've gone 1.
the stream for today. Thank you for
Bye.
watching.